This conference will now be recorded.
So in the last session, we have discussed about the visual force controllers, and we have discussed what exactly a controller and what is the use, what it contains inside the controller, and what are the various types of controllers have been introduced by the visual force, and what exactly is standard controller, and at what situations we can go with this standard controller, and what exactly the custom controller, and at what situations we can go with this, and then extension controller. What is the use of this? All these three types of controllers we have discussed in the last session. Okay. Now, so now today we'll see how can we use these controllers, okay, in order to design our own user interfaces and how to implement the business logic. So initially, we'll go with the standard controller, and we'll see how to use this standard controller helping the business logic by my own. How can we utilize the ready-made business logics which has been given by Salesforce by default? And when moving forward, we'll see how to use this custom controller, and then we'll see how can we use extension also, the combination of both standard and custom controllers inside this. Okay, now. So now let's see how can we use this standard controllers initially inside our Salesforce systems. Now, so let's see how can we design a user interface by using the various tags. Okay, I would like to design a user interface. Okay, I would like to design a user interface in order to create some account records inside my app. Whenever if you want to design, create one account record, then we need to supply some field values. Inside my account object, I'm having so many fields. It may be standard, it may be custom. We are having so many fields are available. So we need to supply the values for those. But of course, not to supply the value for all the fields. At least we need to supply the value for the mandatory fields, whatever we have inside the object. Whatever the mandatory fields are available, for those mandatory fields, we need to supply the values. For the remaining fields, it's your wish. If you want, we can supply, or else we can make it as blank also. No problem. Okay. In this case, how can we supply the values? If it is a normal procedure, we're supplying the values in terms of parameters. Okay, we're passing the values in terms of parameters. But now, I don't want to use that procedures. I don't want to pass it as a parameter. I want to design a user interface. Because supplying the values for the parameters will be aware of by only the developers. Because the developer will know what methods are available, how to access those methods, how to supply the values from the parameters, in what order we need to supply, in what format we need to supply, we know. But a normal end user doesn't know how to supply the value for each and every method. He don't know how to supply the parameter values. In what order they need to supply, in what format they need to supply, they don't know all these things. For that reason, I would like to provide the user interface. I would like to provide a user-friendly interface which will be having some visual appearance controls. Which will be having some visual appearance controls like as some text boxes, buttons, check boxes, tick list controls, lookup icons. So many fields are available, so many visual appearance controls are available. And in user interface, in that user interface field, the user will enter some values. After entering the values inside the text boxes, when you click on that save button, the record will be saving into my app. So the user won't need to aware of the backend business logic. Just he will be concentrating on the user interface. He will be using the visual appearance controls. He will be entering some values inside the text boxes. Then directly he can invoke that command or we can invoke the action with the help of those button controls. So in this case, how can you design the user interface? How to place some text boxes on my user interface? Okay, I want to place some text boxes. Now in this case, we are using a tag. We are using a component that is called as input field. Okay, input field. Input field is a standard tag which has been given by Salesforce in order to represent an object field onto your user interface. Okay? In order to represent an object field onto the user interface, we need a tag called as input field tag. So what exactly the input field tag? What is the use? What properties are available? How to use this input field tag in order to represent the user interface controls on my user interface, and how to apply the values for my records through user interface, how to invoke the actions without writing the business logics by my own see practically. Okay. So let's see the input field tag. Input field tag. Okay, input field tag. So what is this input field tag basically? What is the use of this input field tag? Now let's see. For example, assume that I'm having an object. Okay? I have an object. Now, for example, I have an object, which is an account object. Inside my account object, I'm having some ID column. I'm having the name column. I'm having the rating column. I'm having the phone column and the fax column. And then I'm having the industry column. And along with that, I'm having annual revenue column also. So these are the various columns are available inside my object. So these are the fields available inside my object. This is my account object. I'm having this field, ID field. And this is the name field, rating field. I'm having the phone and the fax field, industry, annual review. So these are the fields are there inside my object. Now to create the records inside my object, as of now we are using some user interfaces given by Salesforce in terms of page layouts or in terms of tags. Through that user interface, we are able to manage it. But in some cases, when you go to that user interfaces to create that account record, so whatever the user interface has been given by Salesforce, this user interface is not looking like good. Like it may be the style also, it may be the number of columns also, it may not be looking like good for you. So in this case, my client said that I want to create a account record inside my object where I don't want the standard user interface given by Salesforce. I want our own customized user interface. I want a customized user interface where for this user interface, I don't want the background color. I want the style of the candidate objects. I want this style. Okay. I want this object style, but for my account record, for my account user interface. Okay. For this user interface, I want candidate objects. Like the color should be like this maroon color or orange. I want this color. Image should be like this because account means customer. So customer is nothing but a person. For that now I need this particular image. Now, so now here in this case, I would like to design a user interface which should be exactly looking like this, but with applying the size of candidate object tags. And that too, my client said that when coming to the account information section, we have the fields in 2 columns, but I want to place the fields in 3 columns. Okay, I want to place the fields in 3 columns because I'm having more number of fields that there inside my object. So if I'm placing 2 records of the fields inside the 2 columns, then the user interface will be looking like a very lengthy. The user has to use a small bar to go back to go down to that remaining fields. But the reason what I want to do is I don't want to use this kind of navigation. I want the sections where I can able to place the fields in 3 columns. In this section, I want to place the fields in 3 columns. In this section, 2 columns. In this section, 2 columns. In this section, 1 column. Depends upon the section, I would like to decide the number of columns also. It's not mandatory that for all the sections we need to give the same number of columns. For one section, 4 columns. For second section, 3 columns. For the third section, 2 columns. For the fourth section, 1 column. So we can specify. Depends upon the requirement, depends upon the number of fields, depends upon the type of the fields you would like to place inside the section. We can decide how many number of columns that you want. The facility is available to you, so that we can able to place our work user interface, and I would like to place these controls. Like the similar way, exactly, I want to place these controls on my user interface, but by arranging the fields in the 3 columns. Okay, you know how to arrange the fields in 3 columns, you know that concept. Where exactly we need to specify the number of columns, you know, everything we know that. But now, inside that, I need to place this field. Okay, I need to place this field. Then how can we place this field over? This is a field. These are text bars where I'm entering some data. This data will be going into my account name column. That means there is a mapping is available. Okay, there is a mapping is available between the text bars and the column. Okay, between the text bars and the column, there is a mapping over. So now this is my text boxes are available. So in this case, what are the data that have entered? Okay, what are the data that have entered inside my text bar? This data will go into my name column. So what are the rating value that are selected? This will go into the rating column. What are the phone number that are entered? It will go into that phone number column. What are the fax number that are entered? It will be going into that fax number column. Whatever the industry value we have selected, this industry value will go into the industry column. That means what there is a linking is up. There is a mapping, there is a connection is available between your user interface fields and the text box. Okay, between the user interface fields and the columns, there is a mapping is available, there is a link is available. That means what it means, whatever the data that I enter inside my customer name field, please store this data inside the name column. What are the data that I entered inside my rating field? Please store this data in the rating column. And then type column, type field data in the type column. Industry field data in the industry column. That means there is a mapping, there is a connection is available. So that means what? Whenever they're preparing this user interface, they have mapped the connection somewhere. Okay, they have mapped the connection somewhere. That means whenever I'm entering some data inside my text box, where this data will go, in which column this data should go, we need to indicate that. For that one, whenever we are going to preparing this user interface control, it may be a text box, it may be a pick list control, it may be a lookup, it may be a checkbox, it may be a text box, whatever any control which you are going to prepare, then upon preparing that, we have to map the connection between these two. That means once the data has been getting entered inside this text box, in which column this data will go, in which object this data will go, we need to map the connection. For that one, whenever we are preparing this kind of user interface controls, we are using a tag InputField tag. Okay, InputField tag. So InputField tag is used to this particular object structure. Whatever object fields are available, these object fields you can able to represent on your user interface. According to the data type of the field, upon creating this field, we are selecting some data type. It may be a text data type, email type, phone type, pick list, multi-select, lookup, whatever anything. Depends upon the data type. I want to provide the respective looking field. I want to provide the respective visual ability. If I'm selecting the data type as normal text, it has to provide like other text box. If I'm selecting the field type as pick list, it has to provide a pick list control to me on my user interface. If I'm selecting checkbox type, it has to provide a checkbox control to me. If you are selecting text area, it has to provide like other text area looking. If you are selecting the lookup association, it has to provide the lookup control to the over. That means what? Depends upon the data type which are selected inside that object, the respective data type properties will be getting applicable over. Okay? So whatever the data type that are selected upon creating this field, the data type properties also should be applicable. Depends upon the data type, the respective visual appearance has to be get prepared. If it is a normal text field or currency field, number field, email field, phone field, at that time it has to display like as a normal text box. If I am selecting the data type like as a pick list, it has to display the visual appearance like this. It has to provide like a pick list control visual appearance. It has to provide. That means this will be having a different looking field. It is having a different the appearance, different shape is available. If I am selecting the checkbox type, it has to provide the checkbox looking field to be provided. That means depends upon the data type which are selected, the respective visual appearance has to be get visible inside the user interface. For that reason, based on your object structure, if you want to prepare this visual appearance controls, then we have to use a tag called as input field tag. There is a field inside my object which I have created in the past. For that field, I want to supply some input value because I want to create some records. I want to create some record. For that, I want to design my own user interface. Through this user interface, I want to supply the value for that field through this input control. So that I want to place one text box control, or a picture control, or a checkbox control, or a radio button control, or a text area control. Depends upon the requirement. Depends upon the field data type. I want to provide the respective visual appearance on my user interface. For that reason, we are using the input field tag. Input field tag is used to place the user appearance, the visual appearance control on the user interface based on a particular field properties. Based on the field properties, we can able to place the respective visual appearance on the user interface by using the input field tag. Okay, so whatever the user interface controls you are able to see here is purely implemented by using input field tag only. That will be preparing by Salesforce internally by default. Okay, that will be preparing by the Salesforce internally by default. So now I want to design a similar kind of user interface by my own. So at that time, in order to place the controls onto the user interface, I want to use the input field tag. So input field tag is used to place some visual appearance controls on the user interface based on that field data type based on the field properties. Okay. Whatever the field that I'm going to binding this particular control depends upon the field type, depends upon the field data type, and the properties it has to get applicable under it. Okay. Clear? Now. So now let's see.
We also have the field difference. Field difference also
it will be applicable. Now, make a note of this. Input field tag. This tag is used to bind an object field to the user interface control. This tag is used to bind an object field to the user interface control. That is, we can prepare the visual appearance of the control based on the field data type and properties. Based on the field data type and properties. It will map the link or connection between the user interface control and the object field by default. Object field by default. Okay. Simply in one sentence, we can say input field tag is used to represent the user interface controls on your based on the object structure, based on the columns, based on the data types, based on the field properties. We can prepare the respective visual appearance of the user interface using input field tag. Upon binding the object field to the InputField tag, it will prepare the visual appearance based on the field data type and the field properties. Based on the field data type and then field properties. Based on the data type, the look and feel will be getting prepared. Based on the properties, it is going to be providing the respective values also will be inside. If you are binding a pick list control to my input field tag, it will prepare the pick list control automatically by default. In the pick list control, upon preparing the control, whatever the values we have added, those values will be getting binding inside the control automatically by default. The properties. First property, ID property. ID property is used to specify the reference name. In order to identify this particular control on the user interface uniquely, so that we can able to refresh this component also based on the requirement. Madam, screen is visible, last row. I will come to the front. Done? Next. Second property, value property. In this value property, we have to specify that the field name, which field you would like to bind. Then where that field is available, that means in which object that field is available. We have to indicate. So that we have to specify clever braces, an explanation. Now this explanation is indicating a dynamic binding. It is called as dynamic binding. Now we can specify the object name. What object field you want to bind, and then what field you want to bind. Okay. So in this case, we have to specify the name of the object and the field name also. Now I want to bind the account object field, and which is the name field. Like that, we have to specify the name of the object as well as the field. Whenever I'm binding this particular field to this particular value property, then based on this field data type, based on this field property, it is providing the visual appearance. Okay. So whatever the field you are binding to my input field tag depends upon this field name, depends upon the field data type, depends upon the field properties, it is going to prepare the visual appearance. Suppose if the field is of type a normal text field, it is providing one text box. If the field is of type a pick list, it is providing the pick list control. If the field is a lookup, it is providing the lookup icon automatically. So that depends upon the field data type and the properties, it is providing the respective visual appearance automatically. Next. Now in this case, upon binding this field, if the field is a mandatory field, then automatically on your user interface, the field will be getting visible with the external possible value. That means properties also will be applied automatically. Not only the data type, properties also will be getting applied automatically by default. Okay. Now, sometimes if you want to make that field mandatory, as part of my object, that field is an optional field, that field is not a mandatory. Now, in my result first page, I want to make that field mandatory. For that one, we have a property called as required property. Okay, required property. Required property is used to make that field mandatory. Okay, in order to make that field mandatory, in your result first page level, we are using that required property. Required equals to true. Whenever you are making this required equals to true, automatically that field will be marking with a regular bar symbol, which is a mandatory field upon creating the required true result first. Next, the photo property. Rendered property. You know this rendered property, what is the use of this rendered property? What is the use of this rendered property? to indicate whether this field to be visible on the user interface or not. Okay. In order to make it visible or not, we can decide with the help of the rendered property by making this value as either false or true. So these are the four properties are available as part of this input field. We are having some more, but those are not required. These are the most important properties that we are going to be using as part of our user interfaces inside the input field tag. Input field tag is used to place the user interface controls on your user force page depends upon the object structure. Depends upon the fields, depends upon the field data type, depends upon the field properties, depends upon the field default values. We can prepare respective visual appearance on the user interface by using the input field tag. Okay, so now just we have to indicate what object field you would like to represent on the user interface. We have to specify that object name and the field name to this particular input field tag. Okay, now for example, let's make a syntax. We have to specify appends input field. Value equals to I want to display the candidate object information or account object information. How can we specify account dot name? I want to display the text box on the user interface, which is used to enter the account record name information. Second, input field. Value equals to rating value I want to represent. So account dot rating. Input field value equals to account dot industry. I want to display the account information, account object industry field. Input field value equals to account dot active status. Like that, we can able to specify the fields information. Like that, we can specify the fields information. That means just we need to bind what field you would like to represent on your user interface. Okay. I want to represent account object name field onto the user interface, so that here I'm going to binding this account dot name. That means inside the account object there is a variable called as a name variable, which I would like to represent inside this particular field. Now, in this case, we are accessing the variables here, where it is available inside my account object. That means account class. So now, whatever the text box, nothing but input to field, which is providing one text box, okay, which is providing one text box. So in the text box, I'm entering some data. Where this data should go? This data should go into my account object names. Okay, account object names. Inside my account object here, how it has been represented? Account object has been represented in the form of account class. Okay, account object has been represented in the form of account class. In that account class, we are having that name variable. To this name variable, automatically this value will be getting assigned. Okay, clear? So as of now, we are passing the value. SEC.name equals to some value. But here what happened? Input to field. That means I am placing one text box. Now this text box value will be placing inside my account class name variable automatically. That means inside the result was page, we are referencing, we are using the account class information. Account class is what? Is it a standard class or custom class? Standard class. That means what? Whenever if you are using the standard class information inside the result first page, then what we need to do? We need to add that class inside the result first variable. What is the property we need to use? Standard controller. In which tab we need to use? Page tab. Right. That means whenever you are referencing any of that object fields inside the result first page, the respective object class we have to reference inside my result first page by using the standard controller property. Okay? Here? Now make it look. Make it look. Upon referencing any of the standard class, any of the standard class functionalities, Inside the Visual Force page, then we have the reference. Then we have the reference, the class, that means controller class. Inside the Visual Force page, by using standard controller property in the page tab. In the page tab. For example, I am using Apex page. Standard controller equals to lead by Apex page. Apex input field value equals to lead dot first name. Apex input field value equals to lead dot last name. Apex input field value equals to lead dot complete. Like that, we can able to reference each and every property also. Whenever if you want to design your own visual appearance control on the user interface based on an object field properties, then we can go with that input field tab. Based on that field properties, field data type, field default values, we can prepare the respective visual appearance automatically with the help of input field tab. Whenever you are binding an object field to that input field tab, it will be preparing the visual appearance based on that field properties, field data type, field default values. Done? So now let's see how can we design a visual force page in order to represent the account object. So I want to design a user interface to create my account record. Okay? To create the account record, I want to design a user interface like this. But I don't want this color. I want to apply the candidate object tab style. Okay? I want to apply the candidate object tab style for my fields. For my entire user interface, I want to apply the candidate object tab style. Okay, I don't want this standard account object tab style. I want this candidate object tab style for my user interface. There I want to place these four sections again: account information, address information, additional information, description information. I want to place these four sections. Inside these sections, I want to place these fields. In this particular first section, I want to place the fields in 3 columns. In the second section, 2 columns. In the third section, 2 columns. In the fourth section, 1 column. I want to place the fields. Okay. So this is the user interface I want to design right now. How to design this user interface by using this user force page tags? Now let's see practical. Okay. Understood the requirement here? I want to design the user interface exactly similarly like this. And then, but I don't want this tab style. I want to apply the candidate object. You know how to apply the tab style on an object for your user interface, you know everything. Okay, now you know each and every option. Okay, how to design that user first page, how to place the page large sections, button controls, everything you know. These are not new, already you are aware of. Okay, now let's see how can we design this user interface. I want to create a user first page. Okay, now make a note of this use case required. Design a user first page. Design a user first page to create new account record into the object. Represent all the fields on the user interface. Represent all the fields on the user interface. With the respective visual appearance. With the respective visual appearance. Done? Now let's see. How can we design this user first page right now? I want to design a user first page. Now how can we design the page by using this URL format? Make the URL up to Salesforce.com is common, and then apex slash and then page name. That means with which name you want to design a page. I'm creating a page with the name new account record page. Okay. I'm creating a page with the name new account record page. Press enter. Now it will be searching for the page based on that name. Initially it will try to load the page, but the page is not available. We haven't created any page as of now with this name. So now it is indicating that was I'm unable to find the page with the name new account record page inside the mechanical record. So the page is not available. So you want me to create that page? Yes, I want to create the page. So click on that link, hyperlink to create that page. So now a page has been created with the name new account record page. But inside this page, it is giving some default content. Like as congratulations, this is your new page that is new account record page. It is giving some default information. I don't want this default information. I want to design the page according to my business needs. I want to place some visual appearance controls inside this. Okay, so I have removed that existing default code. Now my page is empty page. Okay, nothing is there inside the page. Now I would like to design the page by placing the various sections like this, by applying the various styles also. Okay, now let's see how we do this one. So initially we know that the default properties like setup equals to false, sidebar I don't want, show header I want to make it visible. What object tasker you want to apply? Candidate object. Tasker equals to candidate object tasker. Can apply the candidate object tasker. Okay. So now the page has been created and the default settings have been applied and the default tasker also has been applied. Okay. So initially let me design that section and then we'll see how to place the fields inside. Okay. Now for that one initially we need to place the section header also. I want to place this section header like as account edit and then new account. Now I'm indicating this. So for that one, first of all, I'm placing that section header. Section header title equals to account edit. Subtitle equals to new account. Okay. Each and every part one by one we design. So now I'm placing the section header in order to display the title and the subtitle information. And next one, what is the next tab? Page block, farm tab. Okay, inside the farm tab, we have to place your page. Okay, now I have placed that farm tab. Inside the farm tab, what we need to place now? We need to place the page block. I'm placing the page block. For this page block, I want a title like this. What is the title here that you want? Account edit. I'm indicating the title equals to account edit. I'm placing the page block. Now the page block is also next. What is the next one? Page block sections. Now run. Inside the page block, I want to place the page block sections. Affects page block section. What is the first section? Account information. Then how to specify that? Title equals to account information. Next. Columns. 3. Okay. Collapsible. I want that collapsible. So I have placed one section inside my page. Inside my page block, I have placed one section with the name account information section. Okay. That's the second section. How to place the page we'll see. Page block section. Address information. Number of columns equals to 2. The collapsible equals to. Now the second section is also ready with me. Let's go. The third section. Title equals to additional information. Number of columns equals to 2. And the collapsible option equals to. I'm placing the third section also. Additional information section. Next. Apex page block. Title equals to description information section. Number of columns equals to 1. And the collapsible equals to. Now the 4 sections. So these are the 4 sections I have placed right now. Okay. And the 4 sections are ready with me. Next. What we need to place now? Button control. Okay, I would like to place button control. How to place the button control? Inside the page block. Then how to place the button control? Page block buttons, right? Page block buttons. Now, what is the property? Location. I want to use that both. Now, next one. Command button. Appends. Command button. Value equals to command button. Value equals to cancel. Appends. Command button. Value equals to we will like to specify the save in or some quick save. So these are the buttons. I have placed the button controls on both the tab and then the button. So because I have given the location as both. Okay. So up to this part is ready. Okay. So we are done with half of the part. Okay. We are done with the section header part. Page block sections and the page block buttons and the command buttons also. We are done. Now let's go ahead to prepare the fields. I want to place these fields inside my sections. Inside the sections, I need to place that fields. Now, first section, account information section. In this account information section, I want to place the name of the field and then type of the field, industry name, annual revenue, and the rating field, and the contact number, that means phone number, fax number, website, ownership. These are the fields I would like to place. How to place these fields? Now let's see practical. Now these fields are nothing but what? These are available inside the object. How these are been represented in the inside the business logic in the form of class. What is the class? Account class. Account is a standard class or custom class? Standard class. How to represent the standard class inside the page? Standard controller. So go to that page again. We have to use standard controller. That means I'm informing to the Visual Force page. This is the account class in which some variables are available. For those variables, I would like to pass the values by placing the text box inside my controls. Okay, so we have to specify the object name, that means the class name that is called as account. That means I'm using the account class variables inside my Visual Force page. Because whatever the text boxes I'm going to place inside this, in this text box, I will enter some values. These values actually get mapped to this class variables by default, so that I can create the data inside the object. Okay. So now I would like to place that fields now. So now inside my account information section, I want to place the fields. What is the first field you want to place? Name field. How to place that field? Input field. Okay, input field. Value. Value equals to what? Account dot name. That's it. Save. Let's see what will happen. Account name field has been placed or not? Have you specified the label here? Have we indicated this is a mandatory? Have we marking with a mandatory here? Whenever I'm passing this a variable name, that is the field name that is name, it will go to the account object. In this account object, it will go to the name field. In this name field, it will verify what properties are available. What type of field it is? Is it a number field, request field, lookup field, or what? It will verify. Along with that, if the field is a mandatory or optional, it will verify. Based on that, it will be applied the properties to you on your user interface. Okay. So now whatever the label is available, this is the field label. So when this field label is available inside that object, in that object, for this particular name field, whatever the field label is there, that label will be getting visible to you automatically. That means properties are applicable by default. Properties are applicable, data types are also applicable by default. Okay, we no need to indicate. Okay, we no need to indicate. Please prepare the text box. Please give this label over. Because whenever you are binding an object field, automatically it will go to the respective field. It will check for that field properties in the field data types and the field default values based on that it is preparing the visual appearance by default. So no need to do this thing manually by your own. Everything will be taken care by Salesforce internally by default. Okay? Clear? Now, the next field. What is the next field you want to apply? I want to place the next field, like a rating field. How can you specify? Value equals to account dot rating. Rating field is of type what? Pick list field. Okay, it's a pick list field. Now let's see. When you save this information, it is going to place in that pick list field automatically. In this pick list field, what values are available in the rating field? Hard, warm, cold. These three values will be getting populating automatically. That means what? Based on that object field, it is preparing the visual appearance. Now, let me explain the concept. So now that I already told you in our initial classes, because of the ORM, whenever I'm adding a field inside my object by using either standard navigation, by using schema builder, it is placing the field on the user interface. How? Because it is adding this particular tag automatically by default at runtime. Okay, at runtime, it is going to be adding this tag over. Because of that, you can able to see the field on your user interface. Whenever I'm creating the field inside the object by using standard navigation, column will be getting added, user interface will be getting prepared. How? Because of this tag only. But this tag will be prepared in the Salesforce automatically by default at runtime. Because of that, we are able to see the fields also. Okay? Clear? Understand the concept here? Next. So now input field value. What is the next field? Industry field. Account dot industry. Okay. Now observe this one. I haven't indicated here. We have specified the number of columns are 3. Okay, number of columns are 3. Now whatever the first field we have added, that is placing inside the first column. Second field is the second column. third field, third column. If you are adding one more field, fourth field will come to the second row automatically. Okay. Now, I'm saving this content. Now it will be placing that field also. Industry name field will be getting populated. All the values are available. Now sometimes my client said that I want to make that industry field as mandatory. Required property. So just to go to that required property equals to, we can make that field as mandatory. The field has been marked it as mandatory here. Okay, that possibility is available. Here, for example, I'm placing this number of columns are automatically fields will be getting arranged. You will be having the customer name and then customer rating and then industry field is. Now I want to place the remaining fields. Appendix, input field. Value equals to the counter dot annual revenue. Calculating this annual revenue and then input field value equals to the counter dot type. Input field value equals to the counter dot ownership. So these are the fields I would like to place inside my user. In the first section, I'm placing this and aligned with that the phone interface fields also. Input field value equals to a counter dot input field value equals to a counter dot input field value equals to a counter dot. I would like to specify the website. So now we have saved this. So we have specified that customer name and the rating field, industry field, annual revenue, type, ownership, contact number, fax number, and then website. And then I want to make this contact number as a mandatory field so that I'm indicating phone number as required equals to. I'm making this field as mandatory. Okay, clear? Up to this part is okay. Are any questions still? Clear up to this one? Next. Now,
Validation rules.
done. If you want to apply the validation rules, whatever the validation rules you have created to user interface, those will be getting applicable. If you want to do your own validations at the client side, you can go with that scripting, JavaScript. Through JavaScript, you can able to implement the validation rules. We'll see as part of JavaScript program. Okay, clear up to this one? Next one. The next section. I want to place the next field, building street, building city, building state, building postal code, building country. In the right side, I want to place the shipping address fields information also. Okay. But whenever I'm going to be arranging the fields, the first field will be getting placed over here, second field will be placing over here. Okay. Now, let's see how can we arrange these fields. Apex input field value equals to. What is the first field name? Billing state. Now the billing state field will be getting placed over there on your user interface. Next. What is the next field? Next field. Next field. Billing city. So now here I'm using that billing city. Okay, billing city. So where this billing city field has been placed here, the right there. But where you want to display in the first column, then what you do? What put it? We can't indicate any column. Number of columns are given as 2. In that place, what you want to display is shipping speed. That's it. Simple. Just to go to that. Okay, as a second field. After that billing speed, display shipping speed. I count the dot. Shipping speed. That's it. Now in this case, what happened? Billing speed will be getting visible over here. Shipping speed will be visible over here. And then billing speed. Okay. Now what is the next field now? What is the next field? What is that? Shipping city, right? Say confidently, whatever it may be, right or wrong. No problem. We are placing the shipping billing city here, shipping city in this place. Like the similar. Input field, that billing state. Value equals to billing postal. So now these are the fields I have placed. I have placed the billing information, shipping information, billing street, shipping street, billing city, shipping city, billing postal code, shipping postal code, billing state, and then billing postal code in the shipping postal code, billing country and the shipping country. Okay, all these are fields we have placed inside this user interface. Okay, but upon writing that code, okay, initially please try to save the code for each and every line. If you missed one less than, if you missed one single code, it will be given compilation error. Okay, so please be careful about that writing the code inside the user interface file. Okay. So that initially for some time, we can try to save the code for each and every line. If there is any syntactical mistakes, directly we can identify inside that line itself. After writing that whole lines of code, when you try to save that code at the last, if it is giving any issue, then we can't find out where exactly the error has been occurred. Where exactly we did the mistake. That will be difficult to identify. So that try to save that code for each and every line initially for some time. Once you feel comfortable, then write that code, keep on, at the last also you can save no problem. Okay. Now, the next one. So now placing that. Append input field value equals to I'm indicating account dot customer priority, and then I'm going to placing that one more field, affects input field, value equals to account dot address. Okay, I'm placing these two fields also. Inside my additional information section, I'm having the customer priority field and then address field is also available. Inside the description information section, I'm placing the field. Input field, value equals to account dot description. Okay, I'm placing this field inside. So all the fields are available to me. Okay, these are the fields are available inside my user interface. Okay, so now here I'm having this fields are available. Depends upon your requirement, you can able to specify this information also inside. Okay, so whatever the user interface that we have for my account object, the similar kind of user interface we have designed, okay, by using the result post program. We are able to place the section header also, page bar, the sections, we have placed some fields also inside. But the difference is when you go to the standard page layout, there is a different color is available. Here we have applied our own colors. And that too, when you go to the standard page layout, there is no collapsible option. But here we are having our own collapsible option is available. We can able to save, we can able to show the collapsible option for even edit page also. In the standard page layout, you don't have any collapsible option. Always this will be having like as a standard option is available. But here we are having the option of collapsible. We can expand it and we can able to collapse these sections also. Depends upon your requirement. That possibility is available. Okay.
What about the lookup field? If we have any lookup field.
Lookup field also can place. Let me show you that. So now we are having some lookup field is available. Okay, parent account. Okay, now in this case, we can able to place that. Here I'm placing that. Same concept, no change. Input field value equals to account dot parent ID. Automatically, the lookup field will be getting this. For every field, any field, no problem. Okay? Just we can use that the property field chat as the input field. Based on that field data type properties, it will be providing the visual appearance. Sorry? No, it will not be visible to you. For the visual post pages, post.com platform will not be this. The lookup option will not be visible.
Copy address.
Then for that one, we have to prepare the hyperlinks. Okay, we have to prepare the hyperlink or a command link, then we have to implement that function. Okay, so in this case, this option will not be visible to you. That's what I told you. Okay, that's what I told you here. Now this option, this link will be available only for the standard page layouts. If you are designing your own, that option will not be visible to you. At that time, you can go with the workflow rules or the process builders, or else you can able to use the JavaScript to copy this information by placing the hyperlink inside this. Okay, clear up to now?
Can we create new fields, sir?
No. Whatever the fields are available inside the object, those fields we can represent over there. But here we can't add some more additional.
You cannot fill up all the two objects.
No, only one object. Only one object. Because we are using, if you want to use the second object, then we have to use that object name also inside that page tag. But in the page, we can have only one standard controller tag. So we can't have. Clear? Designing the user interface according to the business requirement. Any questions still? Fine up to this one. Feeling comfortable designing the user interface, tags, properties, all these things? Yes, sir. No. So at least give the answer so that I can understand whether you are able to understand that. Okay. Now, so now in this case, my user interface is ready. Okay, now my user interface is ready. After entering some data inside my user interface, When I click on that save button, I want to save the record. What would you? Action, okay. What action do you want to perform? Save. Then, do I need to write business logic here?
No.
No, business logic is already given by Salesforce. Then what we can do now? Tell me. Okay, just to go to that button control. Go to that save button. I want to indicate action property equals to save. How can we save by save method? Flower bracelets, exclamation. That's it. Now, as soon as once you click on that save button, it will call that standard save method. Where is this save method? Inside my account class. So, inside my account class, whatever the save method has been given by Salesforce, this save method will invoke. Now, this method will collect this whole data from this user interface fields. It will be storing inside that respective object automatically by default. Once the record has been created, it will redirect the user to the detailed. Okay. So now generally we have to write this business logic by our own, but here Salesforce, we know it to implement the business logic by my own. That business logic has been given by Salesforce by default. Now tell me for the cancel. Action equals to cancel method. Now action equals to quick save. Okay. So now we are attaching that method. Now, for example, okay, now these are the three methods are available, three buttons are available right now. Fine. Now, I want to place that delete button also. I'm placing the delete button. Apex, command button, value equals to delete. What is the action now? What is the method name? Are you confident on that? That's it. Okay, say confident it may be right or wrong. Okay, so now in this case I'm placing that command button that is a delete also. Let's see what will happen.
Because there is no record to delete.
Okay, why the delete button is not available? I'm able to see save button, cancel button, quick save button. Why not the delete button? Delete button will do what? It will remove the current record. That means it should be always on detail page of the record. Then what is this page now? Edit page. So on the edit page, we can't place a delete button. So that even though when you try to place the delete button, Salesforce won't allow that. Will be removing that button automatically by default from the user interface. Okay, because the delete button is going to be removing the current record available inside that object, because it is expecting the ID inside this URL, but here we don't have any ID for this record, so the delete button will not be visible. Okay, clear? Understood the concept now? Now. So now let's try to create a record, okay, by using this user interface. I want to create a new record right now. I'm creating a new record with the name Visual Force page test account. Okay, I'm creating a new record with this details. Industry name I'm selecting like as some consulting, and then rating I'm giving like as some 1. Type I'm giving like as installation partner. Annual revenue some 85 lakhs. Ownership I'm indicating like as some public. Contact number or some value. Fax number or some value. Website I'm indicating like as some gmail.com. Billing street I'm indicating like as some flat number, some 456. Now SS apartments like as some Madhapur. And the city is from Hyderabad, state is from Telangana, postal code 500021, country I'm indicating India, customer priority I'm giving like as high, active status I'm indicating like as yes. Okay, so these are the values I have entered inside my user interface. Okay, I have entered the details inside my text boxes. I have selected some field values. Now, as soon as once you click on the save button, the record will save or not. Yes, it will be calling that method. What is that method? Save method. What the save method will do? Save method is going to be collecting the record information from that object, and it is going to be saving the record inside that respective object. It will be redirecting the user interface. Now that already we have discussed in the last session, now as soon as once you call the save method is going to be having some business logic to save the record into the object, and it will redirect the user to the detail page of the record automatically. The same functionality it has to do now. Let's go to the user interface, click on save. As soon as once you click on the save button, record has been created, it has been redirected me to the detail page of the record here. So this is my detail page of the record. So now we have entered Visual Force page test account. These are the details which we have entered. The address information, additional information, everything, all the information is available. Whatever the values we have entered inside that fields, with those key values, it is creating a record, it will be redirecting the user to the detail page of the record itself. Okay? Clear? Understood the concept here? That means upon designing the user interfaces by using Visual Force programming, no need to write the business logic also. Generally, we are using development part. Development part is for we need to implement. But here also so many ready-made things are available. No need to implement everything by your own in the development part also. So many features have been given by Salesforce by default. We are utilizing those ready-made features by our own. If the ready-made features are not sufficient, then only we can go with our own custom implementation part. Okay? Clear? Understood the concept now? Now let's see. Now for example, okay, let me show you one small action. So this is my page that we have. Here I have indicated the account edit and then new account. Okay, account edit and then new account. For my account object, if I'm changing the field labels, then object label if I'm changing. When you click on this new, it is indicating okay account edit and the new account. I'm changing the label of this particular object. My client said that I don't want this name like as account, I want like as customer. Okay, we change this label. I want to change this object label. I want to change the object label. How to rename the labels of that object. I want to change the labels of this object. How can we do that? Just to go to the second menu, go to the build menu in the left panel, customize, tab names and labels, rename tabs and labels. Okay, rename tabs and labels. Click on this one. What object label you want to change? Account object label. So click on, go to the account object here, click on edit. For my account object, it is indicating like as some simply account. But I want to show like as my customer. Plural name I want to indicate like as my customer. Okay. I'm changing that object label and then the tab label also. Now click on. Now let's see. Now tab label is representing like as my customer. Once you click on new button, what it is showing right now here? New my customer. Okay, new my customer. Here it is indicating my customer. That means what? Whenever I'm changing the object label, that label will be getting visible to you inside your user interface. But when you go to my user interface, even though it's inside this user interface, it is showing that hardcore content. Okay, account edit, new account save. I want to display that label, latest label I want to fetch. How can we fetch it? Now, let me show you practically. We can able to fetch that object label dynamically at runtime because we are using the same object but by changing the label over according to the business requirement. So at that time, we can get that latest label of your object also. How to get that latest label of your object? Now, let me show you practically. Here, instead of this one account edit, this account is nothing but account means for my object label. I want to get it dynamically at runtime. For that one, use the dollar symbol. Dollar symbol is used to indicate the global variable. Okay, global variable. So we are having a global variable called as object type. Object type is a global variable. Now this global variable is having the object name of the object. We can specify. That means here, through with the help of this global variable object type, I would like to get the label of my account object. Whatever the label that was given right now, that label I want to fetch it dynamically from time. The same label I want to display here also. Instead of new account, I want to indicate that label. Dollar object type account dot label. I'm fetching that label information. Here also I want to display this information. I don't want account edit. I want to indicate object type dot account dot label. Suppose if you want to get the position object label, simply specify position underscore C label. That's it. Now, let's save this information. Now directly we can able to fetch the information right now. Right now, I don't want to hardcode these values. I'm going to collecting the label of my object dynamically right now. So that it is indicating my customer edit and then new my customer. Here I'm indicating my customer edit information. Okay, we can get that object label. Suppose, for example, my client said that, so don't display this name like as my customer, it is not looking like good, go back to the account. Okay, my client asked me to revert the changes back. So I went back to that my object, go to the setup menu, customize, tab names and labels, rename tabs and labels. You will be having the reset option. Click on reset, we can go back to the previous names. So, okay, whatever the names you have changed, that names will be getting removed, it will be giving the actual names. So once you click on it, it will be having the same. Okay. So now get it. Now when you go to my tab, it is having accounts. Once you click on new button, it is having the new account editor. When you go to your user interface, refresh this user interface, you will get the latest labels of those interface. No need to hardcode these values by manually by your own. We can get that object label dynamically at runtime by using the global variable object type. So that in future, if somebody has changed that object label, the same name label you can replace inside your user interface also dynamically. That facility is available to you. Okay? Clear? Understood this concept here? Comfortable upon preparing this user interfaces? No response. Feeling comfortable with this user interface? Okay. Tags and the properties and then hierarchy of those tags, designing the user interfaces, testing these user interfaces, all these things. 1%. Done with this? Now, let's make a note of an assignment. So design a visual force page to create the lead records into the object. To create the lead records into the object. Make the industry field annual revenue field and contact number field as required. Next one. So design a reserve first page to create a position record inside the object. Make the minimum pay and open date fields are mandatory. Done? Next one. Overriding standard buttons. Done with this assignment? Done. Now let's see one more small feature overriding the standard button controls. So what do you mean by this overriding standard button controls? Now let's see practically. That you know that for every object, Salesforce is providing so many ready-made buttons like new button, edit button, save button, and then we are having view button, list button, tab, so many buttons are available. For each and every object, we are having so many button controls has been given by Salesforce by default. So many button controls are available. Behind this each and every button control, okay, so there is a user interface has been given by Salesforce. We haven't designed this user interface that have been prepared by Salesforce by default as of now. Okay. So in this case, what buttons are available for this object? How can we see? How do we know what buttons are available for my account object? How do we know?
Yes.
No. No. I want to know what buttons are available for my account object. Setup menu, okay. Okay. Go to the build, customize, accounts, buttons, links, and actions section. Okay. So now go to the buttons, links, and actions link. Now it is indicating what are the various buttons are available for my account object. For my account object, these are the various buttons and the links and actions have been given by Salesforce. So there is an account tab is available. As soon as once you click on this account tab, there is a standard page will be opening by Salesforce. There is a standard page has been given by Salesforce. Now, after that, we are having the delete button. Once you click on the delete button, it is invoking a separate page. When you click on this edit button, a separate page will be getting visible to you. When you click on list, nothing but to view. Okay, list means what? View. View in the sense what? When you go to this record information. This is the view. Upon click on that go, it will display this record. Nothing but for this one, a separate page is available. So this is the page has been given by Salesforce. New. Upon click on that new button control, once you click on that new button, it is providing the user interface. So it is the user interface to create a new record. View. That means in order to see the record information. Seeing the record information means what? Now let me show. So this is the view. Once you click on that, it will be displaying the record information. To see the record information, detailed page of the record over here. Now view account history, but this one is separate page. That means what? Behind each and every button control, Salesforce has given a separated page. Those pages are the standard pages which have been given by Salesforce by default. So, but the user no need to design these pages have been prepared by the Salesforce by default. But as of now, what happened? As soon as once you click on that new button, okay, when you click on that new button to create a new account record, it is opening the page. Okay, it is opening a page which is a standard page given by Salesforce. But now I have designed a page with attractive looking field. I want this page. When I click on this new button, I don't want to show this page. Okay, I don't want to show this page. I want to show this page. I want to open this page. For that one, what needs to be done? As soon as once you click on that new button, don't open the standard page. Please open my page which I have designed. That means I would like to override the standard page. Whatever the standard page has been given by Salesforce for the new button, I want to override that page. Don't display that standard page. Please display my page which I have designed. For that reason, I want to redirect the user. Okay, I would like to redirect the user to my page itself. How can we redirect the user by overriding this standard button control? How to override this standard button control? Now let's see. Just to go to that new button, which button you would like to override, just to go to that button control, click on that edit link. Click on this edit link. Now it is indicating that information. Currently here it is indicating no override. So now it is the classic mode, no override, which is displaying the default page which has been given by Salesforce. But now I don't want that the standard page that is not looking like code. I have designed my own page over here. I want to display that page. So let's select that option, result force. Let's select that option, result force. That means don't display that the standard page, display my page. So what is the page that you have designed? This is the page which I have designed, new account record page. A new account record page. This is the page which I have designed. So now please display my page over. Select that page and then click on save. Okay, click on save. Once you click on save button, now it is indicating clearly for your new button. Nothing but for your new button, it is not displaying the standard page, it is displaying your own page, which is an overridden page. The button has been overridden by using your own page, the result first page, which is going to be getting visible over here. Okay, clear? Now, let's go to your account object, refresh this user interface. Now click on that new button. Once you click on the new button, it won't display the standard page, it will display your page over. So after entering some data, once you click on that save button, record will be saving into the object, it will go to the detail page, the remaining story will be the same concept, nothing else.
So, candidates style, highlighting.
That's what here. Because the candidate object style you have applied, right? That's what it will be displaying this particular candidate object style. That tab will be getting selected. Okay.
But user will confuse.
No, because here we are going to applying the style of this candidate object, so this object will be getting highlighted automatically. If you want your own style, you can able to apply. Clear? So this is the way we can able to override the standard button controls also. Instead of using the standard page, we can able to override the standard page with our own page which we have designed by using the result first program. Okay? Clear? Now, it's a common question in every point of view. How can we override the standard button controls? Standard button controls can be override with the help of designing our own page by using the controller of type standard controller. We have to use the standard controller C. So now, when you try to change this one, it is populating the result first pages. How many? Only one. As of now, we have designed 4 pages. Okay, inside the organization we have designed 4 pages. Okay, now let me show you the pages. So inside my object we have 5 pages are available, but it's not showing all the 5 pages. It is showing only 1 page. Why? It will display only those pages which are having the standard controller as account. It requires the standard controller property which should be mapped with the account. Remaining pages will not be visible. The remaining pages will not be visible. Whenever if you want to override a button control with your own custom Visual Force page, in that page we have to use that object as a standard controller. Then only we can able to override the button control with your own page, or else it won't allow. Okay? Clear? Understood this concept here? Now make a note of this. Overriding standard buttons. For each object, Salesforce provides a set of button controls to be used to invoke that. To be used to invoke that. For example, new, edit, view, delete, list, etc. For each button control, Salesforce provides a standard user interface. For each and every button control, Salesforce provides a standard user interface. We can override the button controls. We can override the button controls with our own Visual Force pages. Visual Force pages. That is, upon click on the button control, instead of displaying the standard page, we can redirect the user to our own custom Visual Force page based on the need. Based on the need as well. Based on the need as well. Now let's see the navigation. Go to the setup menu. Go to the build menu in the left panel. Click on customize. Click on the required object name. For example, accounts. Click on buttons, links, and actions link. Go to the button control to override. For example, new. Click on edit link. Select the radio button, Visual Force page, and select the newly designed Visual Force page from the pick list to be used to override. and then click answer button. Now the observation. Upon click on new button, it will redirect the user to the custom result first page. Upon click on the new button, it will redirect the user to the custom result. So here the navigation in order to override the standard button controls. Not only designing your own Visual Force pages and no need to open that page manually by your own by placing the URL, we can able to redirect the user to the Visual Force page by click on the button controls by overriding the standard buttons.